Our next cast member is a graduate student at the University of Albany pursuing a master's in social work. She has a bachelor's degree in human development and family relations from SUNY Plattsburgh. She has a passion for the helping profession and plans to work with children in the future. She spends her free time volunteering with her friends and family. Everyone, reading Turn On Your Light, I give you Erin Caligieri.
Happiness can be found in the darkest of times if one simply remembers to turn on the light. Harry Potter. Growing up with depression and bipolar disorder kept me in a very dark, lonely, and chaotic place. But as I got older, I started to resonate with Dumbledore, and I remembered to turn on my own light. My high school business teacher had a strange saying she would always proclaim when something big was about to happen. "Do you have the goddess?" she would ask. Now, I don't know about you, but I have no idea what a goddess is or where to find it, or at least I didn't at the time. It wasn't until years later when I finally understood what she meant. Do you have the drive? Do you have the ambition? Do you want it? Are you going to make it happen? My depression was so deep in high school and college that I definitely did not have the goddess, and I was definitely in the dark. But at the age of 25, I proudly own my illness and everything that it entails. Bipolar disorder is two simple words, but what do they really mean? It means waking up feeling like you are on top of the world and going to bed ready to end your life. It means laughing on the phone with your friend one minute and crying alone in the shower the next. It means that you are literally on a roller coaster all the time, but you never know whether you're going up the hill or down the drop. Bipolar disorder is complicated, yet then again, maybe it's not. You don't like my mood? Just wait 5 minutes, it'll change. Between the ages of 22 and 25, I was hospitalized 5 times due to my instability in mood and dark depression. I spent many weeks at Four Winds Hospital between their inpatient and outpatient units, and this is where I had the pleasure, rather the experience, of meeting Angela Murray. Angela is probably one of the hardest, most truthful and honest, make you cry yet make you grow types of people I have ever met. I can remember being in her office for the first time and just crying. But here's the thing, Angela was different. Angela was the first person to really call me out on my shit. I would tell her I was going to have a panic attack or start crying or throw up or whatever I could to get out of doing what she wanted me to do. And her response, so what? Oh my God, I was so mad when she first said that to me. I am having a panic attack. What do you mean, so what? But she said it, and to this day, it's how I talk myself down. So what? Are you going to die? No. What's the worst that could happen? You pass out and wake up a few minutes later? And for those of you who know me, you know I am exceptionally good at passing out. But you'll be fine. It was with her words, her actions, and her demeanor that I actually started to believe I was going to be okay. I got motivated. Angela told me I could get better and that I would not need to be in therapy forever, and it has sat right in my heart ever since. I've always kept Angela and her rather unique approach to therapy in my mind, and oftentimes find myself so wetting people. But then something changed within me. Something was definitely not the same. I simply decided that bipolar disorder was something that I had and not something that I am. Who says I can't amount to the person I want to become just because I have a mental illness? The last time I checked, that wasn't a rule. Over the course of my life, I have come to realize a few important things when it comes to mental illness, especially in the past year. The first thing, and in my opinion, the biggest thing, relates directly back to Angela and Four Winds. So what if you have a mental illness? Those are just 2 words on a piece of paper. They do not define who you are. I have a bachelor's degree and have struggled to manage my symptoms enough to be able to return to school to pursue my master's, for the past 3 years. In January of this year, I enrolled in the MSW program at UAlbany. I have been truly touched by so many individuals in the helping profession that I have decided to dedicate my life to advocating for those in need. This was the second biggest lesson. I can do this. For some twisted reason, I had convinced myself that because of my illness, I could not be a social worker. Where exactly is that written down? Nowhere. And quite honestly, most of the helpers I have encountered along my journey are wounded healers. Put yourself in a client's position. Would you rather have someone treating you that had read about depression in their textbook, or someone who truly understands what it feels like when your light goes out? The third biggest lesson I learned is that you don't need other people to validate what you're feeling in order for it to be real. For the longest time, I thought I had to prove myself to my parents, my teachers, my counselors, and my friends. I thought if I didn't have a valid reason to be depressed, then I shouldn't be. I'm not really sure if that has ever worked out for anyone, but it sure as hell didn't work for me. Validation comes from within you. If you feel like crying, cry. If you feel like screaming, scream. But don't unpack your bags and live there. Forgiveness. Forgiveness is a big one and brings me to the fourth biggest thing I have come to realize. Regardless of what's happened to you, I know we all have our deep, dark secrets and stories, but regardless, you can carry the weight of that secret for the rest of your life, or you can forgive. The biggest and most important thing I can tell you about forgiveness is that you do not forgive for the other person. You forgive for yourself. It doesn't mean you accept what they did or what happened, and you're not saying it's okay. What you're saying is that, yes, this happened, and this is how I'm going to deal with it. I carried many secrets for many years, and I'm pretty sure that's why I have back problems at the age of 25. What I'm telling you with all of this is that you are not your illness. As I said earlier, mental illness is something that you have, not something that you are. And once you embrace the fact that, yeah, it's not going away, I promise you, you will feel different. I'm not saying you have to love your bipolar disorder or anything, but just accept it. And I promise you, you'll change. I am truly passionate about this, and I hope that when I do earn my MSW, I can somehow become an advocate for the mentally ill. So who knows, you may be sitting through another one of these speeches someday. I have found the goddess, I have turned on my light, and I know that you can too.